What's up, everyone? I'm gonna start momentarily. Do you guys hear background music? Because I don't. I wasn't able to get it to record, but it's supposed to be playing in the background. Live streaming. Yeah, no music. What the hell? What about now? Do you hear music? Yeah, Yanni. What the hell, piece of crap. Yeah, I don't want it to be loud. Maybe just something way in the background. I mean, that's what I've been doing the past 4 weeks, but for some reason when I was recording it before I started, there was no music. I'm not going to start just yet. Give me like a minute or two. All right, so it's going to be the same format as the usual Friday live stream, and that's going to be the Q&A reveal and then portfolio review, and you could do that at the Discord server. Let me overlay that. All right, let's see here. Yes, it will be available. YouTube just takes their time when it comes to making it available after the stream. They process it or whatever. But it'll be up on the channel. All right, let's go ahead and start. Yeah, I live streamed yesterday, so there might be less people in here today, naturally. Gonna get sick of me. Let's go ahead and get that off. All right, cool. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna do the Q&A reveal. Today, or this week, we only had 3 videos that had questions. Yesterday was a live stream. I didn't have enough time to get it up, so I had no question for people. And so we'll just start with those questions first, question and answer reveal, and then we'll go ahead and do the portfolio review, which means you need to join the Discord server, which is in the YouTube description, and I'm looking at it right here. And when you do this, go to portfolio submissions and the channel right here, and then just submit your portfolio. And if I've already done your portfolio review for you before, don't submit again unless you've really changed things up. I don't want to do the same crap over. So good. We already have some submissions here going. So yeah, let's get started here with the Q&A reveal thing. Oh, also, just because, you know, I like money and stuff, if you send a super chat, which means, you know, you're paying me like, I don't know, like $2, $5 or something like that. It lets you choose. I'll try to spend a little bit of extra time on your portfolio review. Just, you know, when you do the super chat, put in your Discord username so that I know it's you. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so the question from Monday's video was, how do you stay focused while working? Let me get this thing off there. All right, cool. So for me, how do I stay focused while working? For me, it's kind of an organic thing. I'll start working, and if I notice that I'm feeling tired or I've been working for X amount of hours in a row, I just get away from it. I just step away from the damn thing, especially if I'm working on a problem like a coding problem and I can't figure it out and I'll be freaking out. Just step away, do something physically active maybe, and that helps me gain focus again, you know, just by taking a break, even if it's 30 minutes or whatever. Also, I do indulge in caffeine as well, which I need to probably get back on. All right, so let's take a look at some of the answers I showed here. All right, so Cookie Monster says music, music, oh, and cookies. That's good old Cookie Monster from Discord. I deal with ADHD, which prevents me from staying focused easily. And with the Bose QC35 Series 2 noise-canceling headphones, I'm finally able to write code for many more hours a day without issues. I also had those exact same headphones, and they were awesome until my dog ate them. Yeah, literally just chewed the shit out of them. All right. Choose everything. Trees help me stay focused and keep me loving programming. Trees do. So that's, I don't know how trees would help you stay focused, but that's great. He said poop. All right, so Tuesday's question. Have you or are you planning on building a PWA? And sometimes I try to make the questions relevant based on the topic of the video. So the topic of this video, of course, was the very first PWA video that I decided to cover with Angular. And so I figured, might just ask a relevant question for once. For me, have I built a PWA? Am I planning on doing it? PWAs are so freaking new, and I haven't had a personal project yet or a client request it. However, I've built them just for the purpose of trying to teach them, but not like a full-fledged PWA with a lot of functionality. That's definitely probably the very next thing I'm going to do. Sweet, I got a super chat. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Ruggiesis. Thanks for the videos. Do you plan on doing any more advanced Angular stuff? Yeah, definitely. I can't say I am an advanced Angular developer, so I need to really brush up on my skills and try to get into the more advanced level stuff. As if you guys notice, when it comes to Angular, I'm great at the beginner to intermediate stuff, but advanced stuff, not just yet. But I do plan on getting into that because I really like Angular. So yeah, thanks a lot. And if you do, Ruggiesis, have a portfolio you want me to review, let me know your Discord username. Thanks a lot. Okay. Next. I did make a PWA a few months ago, and it turned out to be one of the best performing apps I've ever made. Awesome. No Ionic projects. May I ask why? I know this isn't an answer to the question, but I figured I'd answer it here in a live format. And that's simply because I've decided not to cover it. But what's really cool is I know Ionic does come with PWA functionality, so I will be covering that again. And also, I've been really wanting to, as a personal project, create a kind of like a run keeper based app. And I think I would want to try to do that with Ionic. So I may start to cover Ionic, just based on what I start to learn about geolocation and all that stuff. So yeah, I will be. All right, next. I already built 2 PWAs. Holy crap, Silas, you are amazing. All right, the question. This isn't a question. This is from Wednesday, so 2 days ago. This is more of a kind of like a proposal. Link us to your very first design in the comments. I knew this probably wouldn't be a popular topic because people don't like to make fun of themselves. I have no problem doing it, so I'll show you one of my very, very first designs. It is pathetic. Let me show you. Ah, there we go. Hi, my name is Gary Simon. I'm 16 years old. By the way, I'm 35 now. And I live in Warren, Ohio. On average, I spend 7 hours a day on a computer trying to better my skills and knowledge. My main interest with computers is web development and making professional sites for companies. And Jesus Christ, I hope it doesn't look like this. But no, yeah, that was when I was 16 years old. And this is probably not my very first design. But what was I thinking? I mean, that's back in the day, like late 2000s. What the hell's going on? Oh, man. I'm just checking out the... when I look over here, I'm looking at the comments, by the way. I hope that doesn't look distracting. But yeah, that's one of my very first and probably one of my worst. I mean, I think I designed stuff a little bit maybe that same year or before that didn't look like... I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't drink back then. I would hope not. I'm 16. I just don't know what I was thinking. After Traversy Media, you are the one whose video I liked very much. Thank you for claiming I am number 2 on your list. No, I like Brad though. All right, and then this is somebody else. I didn't save their username. But this is their first design. That's actually pretty impressive. I mean, if it's really your first design, I mean, if you came up with this by yourself and it wasn't a template, that's a hell of a lot better than mine. That's for sure. The top navigation, the only thing I would say, I don't want to turn this into a review or anything, but we need to separate these out a bit when it comes to your navigation. They're too close together. But still, that's your first design. That's quite amazing. All right, so I'm not sure if I have anything after this. Oh, another one. So this is their first design. You know what? That's what I would expect for a first design. The good thing is it's simple. A lot of times people will try to add unnecessary clutter and effects and drop shadows and freaking lens flares. I mean, if we're talking about the late 90s, I mean, I put in lens flares. I think I did. Still solid, very simple. Beginner stuff. I've seen worse. Now this one, I've saved this one. This is exciting. This wasn't a question. It was a question, but it wasn't from me. It was from somebody else from this morning on one of my videos. And I'm going to show the back and forth that we had, and I'm going to try to, use different voices here. I'm going to read this because it was entertaining, very entertaining. I still don't understand why people code on Windows. We are in 2018. Okay. I get this a lot, by the way. I still don't understand why people bitch and moan about which OS others use. Like we're so in 2018. All right. We are forced to use Linux at university. And when we want to lean, people code on Windows. And it's better. It's been 4 years already that I hear my teachers be like, no, don't code on Windows. Yes, Linux and Mac is better. Yes to open source. Oh, you have Windows? There's negative 10 points for your ass. Because that's bad. And I'm not your friend. So don't tell me that I bitch or moan. If you can't give a proper answer, well, don't. I'm here to lean, not for you to scream at me. Thanks. Holy crap, this is getting heated. Well, I was recently quoted as saying, don't go to school for code. And you've given me reason 427 to add to the list of reasons. Stupid professors. And if you were really here to learn, you would have omitted that snarky "we're in 2018" comment. And I'll give you an answer, though. Back in the late 90s, when you were in diapers, I liked to game and code, thus PC. Back in the early 2000s, I had an aversion towards computers that looked like toys, iMacs. Back 8 years ago, I still liked to game and code, but I just had an aversion towards weird-looking soy boys and silly commercials, Justin Long. And throughout all this, I could always easily upgrade, build equivalent PCs for half the cost, and design and code whatever I wanted. Are we best friends yet? Man, I was really expecting a heated exchange after this. Actually, everything I've learned isn't because of school or university, and I'm sorry for we're in 2018. That's a misunderstanding. Of course, we're still best friends. I learned a lot of things thanks to you. Well, holy crap. I have to say, that's probably about 5% of these type of exchanges that actually ended up positive. I was so amazed by this. Thank you, Dindane. If that's you and you really are, a chick, awesome stuff. I liked how that ended. All right, let's do the portfolio reviews. Okay, yeah, sweet. Let's do this. All right, go ahead and submit your portfolio reviews here. I still have some from yesterday that people wanted to do, so in that case, let me check if there's been any, any more super chats. No, there hasn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do this first one, and then if we run out of them, I'll do some from yesterday. All right, so let's go ahead and open the link. All right. Okay, I would probably do away with this this real soft shadow right here, this drop shadow. Other than that, the initial impression, this is pretty solid. Yeah, easy to see navigation. I don't understand what that is. I can only speak English. I'm one of those stupid Americans. Only one language. This definitely, I would get rid of the what do you call it? The outer glow that you have on it. It's just making it hard to. It's just fuzzy, you know. I would probably get rid of drastically changing them to black on hover as well. So I just got this new CSX, this Chrome extension called CSS Scan, by the way. Look at this thing. You just hover over and it tells you all the things, all the CSS properties easily. But you could still do that. Let me get rid of this. I thought that would help me. I'm going to exit that. So yeah, if we get rid of this outer glow, where's it at? Filter. It already looks better. So I just removed that. It looks 1,000 times better in my opinion. So get rid of these crazy glows and drop shadows that are like this. There's a way to do it, and where it's effective, but this wouldn't be the case in which it's effective. Everything also seems really large here. I would scale down these big quite a bit more. They're just taking up a lot of the space. So you want more white space here. I recognize this. It must have been a different thing. I like the top part the most. It's simple. You have these nice aesthetic here. The color, I like the colors. Yeah, just change a few things. I think it would be better. All right, let's do the next one. Oh, I missed one. I was supposed to do this one first. Whatever, we got to it though. Let me check my live thing. Yeah, I use this to drink water because I'm lazy and I don't like to have to refill. So I just fill this thing up a bunch, and then it's always here. The CSX extension is CSS Scan. It was like $2. I knew that would spark that earlier thing, a debate about Mac versus Windows. All right, so let's check this one. The Berg Hag service. What is this? The Berg. I don't know. Okay. Let's see here. You need to restructure the header a little bit. I wouldn't right align the name and then have the left. This is a little bit redundant. Just get rid of this part because this is the logo up here. I do worry though, if this is on a smaller viewport, it would be hard to read this type. But yeah, definitely this is a little bit redundant. I would get rid of that and scale down the size of this header. It's taking up a lot of screen real estate. That's easy to see, easy enough. One of the things that you could do to save on screen real estate and maximize it is to probably just, you know, if you have your logo over here, I wouldn't put a second row just for the navigation. I would put it over to the right, and then that way you have more room for the important content right here. I kind of like this here in the middle. It's very simple. You can read it easily. I don't know what it says, but yeah. Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like a parallax sort of thing up here. I would probably try to show a little bit more of the sun. Seems cut off too much. Right here, not a fan of how we have the different colors right here. They're too similar, but the hue is slightly different. I would change this up. Like, let me try changing it to a different hue, something that I think would work better. Let's change it. Like if you wanted to make them different, let's see here. Maybe something more like that, just a little bit lighter. It was just too similar. Now this is more effective in my opinion. Oh, that's cool. You got like a hover affecting the icons. Okay, that's fine. I would definitely change this right here. I would make this white. That way it would contrast more with the grass and you actually see it. Same thing with this thing. Make this white, make that white, and get rid of the mid-gray right here. Maybe even make that white too. Not really enough contrast right there. So I would just make this white down here. The hell am I doing? Footer. There, that's better. Make that white. Make this thing. I'm not sure if I'll be able to change the color here. I'll try. No, won't work. SVG, whatever. But you get the point. All right. Overall, though, there's a lot more happening that's correct than is wrong. Especially up here. I like this part up here the most. All right. Thanks for that. All right, let's do another one. We got this one, we got a smiley face. I'd be delighted if you review mine today. Let's open that up. All right. I'm checking out chats here. All right. Okay. Now, when I was talking about drop shadows earlier, about the one user that was using those big soft drop shadows and outer glows. And this would be a more effective use of using drop shadows. I like this a lot more. It's just doesn't have more cheap feel to it. I like it. I would probably push it away from this little vertical bar, put more padding, space between these two elements and this, although that's a minor gripe. I like the color though. This green works well with the purple. Up here though, it seems like it's just kind of slapped up there randomly. I would probably right align this and just make a little bit more separation between the links themselves. And you could even maybe encase it in a small, like give it a brief background, maybe like a slighter darker purple. I'm not sure if this will work. We'll try it. I'm just going to do this. And then we'll change it to this and then just slightly, I don't know. That way it gives it a little bit more structure. Push it over to the right more. I think it'd be better. Ultra simple. I like simple more than I like complexity. But still, there's something to be a little bit desired about this. You could do something possibly with the background that's very simple, maybe in the way of SVG, watermark or something, and that would help fill out the page a little bit more. Okay, nice SVG-based looking curve there. All right, okay, now we have some stuff happening. By the way, let me refresh to get rid of my change. Oh, okay, so this changes. Nothing that's sticking out too horrendously. This is a little bit confusing, just this circular refresh thing. I'm not sure what that means, especially when we have kind of like we have an icon, and then when we have some skills here, and then we have an icon skills here. It seems like this should be some sort of, I don't know, it should follow the same trend in a way. If you don't have anything else to put there, just don't put anything there and just make it a 2-column layout where these will be a little bit larger and take up the room a little bit more just in 2 columns. All right, that's cool. This works. Maybe space things out a little bit more because it's a little bit condensed vertically. So just space things out a little bit more, just a tad bit. I mean, I don't have any major gripes right here. Good contact form. It sticks out well. Good call to action button. You can see it. I notice a lot of times recently when I review these portfolios, there's always a contact form in the bottom footer, but they're always hard to see for some reason. It's like a weird trend, but this is good. It's easy to use, easy to see. All right, good stuff. Let's go on with the next one. I don't want to lose my place and skip over people. Next one's right here. Work in progress still, but it's usable. Let's open this. All right, so this is definitely more of an interesting sort of layout. Very serious right here, very serious. I actually like this though. I'm not sure about the size of this menu up here. Quite large. Very nice animations and micro interactions occurring here. Might even speed it up just a tad bit. There's a lot happening here. Maybe just make that whole area come out quicker instead of having to wait for all that to occur. Topography is great. UI UX designer, you could still see it, but it really helps create that visual hierarchy that I talk about a lot. Let's keep scrolling. Yeah, everything here, I mean, if you really design this yourself, is very solid, very solid. No, I don't sell templates or themes on ThemeForest. But I know certainly people make a ton of money doing that though. But I can't spread myself too thin. I can only focus on so much at a time. I don't have any gripes with this really. It's just aside from that menu. Very good. All right, wait. I have to see exactly. Okay, so that's Russ. Okay, the next one in line is, we'll open that up. By the way, if I guarantee you I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's portfolio. So if you want to send a super chat, that is one way to guarantee that I will get to your portfolio. I mean, I only have so much time. It's been 27 minutes. I'll probably do this for another 25 minutes or so. Here's my water. All right. So definitely a lot to be desired here, especially in this right content section. I feel that this left sidebar is taking up too much space. It's too big. I would scale down the size of your avatar or your picture here. 16 years old. Nice. All right, great. The navigation. No, it's not bad. It's easy to use, obviously. I would definitely scale this down and then really focus on this main content area. One of the things I talk about often is when usually it's more objective than subjective, I would say, in my opinion. When you have two columns of content and then you have a lot of text in one of those columns, in this case the right text, it's almost always good to avoid centering the text. It just throws off the flow of the layout, in my opinion, especially how it's done here. So I would probably always stick to a sans serif font. Serif fonts for this type of stuff it usually doesn't work out. It can, but it's tough to make it work out in a way that makes sense. So definitely work on this and try to improve this area, get a layout going. And yeah, you're still doing some things that are right, but things are overall pretty simple. I don't see cheesy effects being used or whatever. But definitely look at the different design inspiration sites and galleries that exist to help you progress as a designer. Next one is right here. This is the site I'm working with, but I would love to make it React Native. I mostly created this with Node. Well, I think I suck at designing. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yo, homies. I don't think I could really review this because there's pretty much nothing here. We have a navigation. This works, but there's really not enough for me. Go ahead and develop this more, and then resubmit it next week because there's nothing for me to really say because it's obviously unfinished. All right, mofos. All right, so work in progress. We have a Figma link. All right, gonna check the chat here. All right. I wish I could increase this fit. Oh, there we go. All right. Nice background image. It's watermarked well enough so that I can definitely see the foreground elements. That's one thing a lot of people get wrong. They'll use a background for the hero section, and it doesn't create enough contrast between the foreground elements. But this is faded out just enough. I mean, you could probably fade it out a tad bit more, but it's still pretty good. You can still read it quite easily. Maybe make the web designer part stick out a little bit more, but yeah, this works. The big contact button, yeah, that could work. Seems like it's almost a tad bit too big. If you really want them to contact you, I'd probably fill it in with your accent color instead, and just make it a tad bit smaller. All right, and then sample work. Let's see here. This is not bad. This is a drop shadow. Even though it's soft, it still works well because it's very subtle. You know, you want to make this like black. So this still does work. All right, skills, technologies. You may want to put the actual name beneath it because some companies or employers may not know what these icons are, so that would help to describe those a little bit. Finish projects, simple enough. Yeah, this is pretty solid. Pretty solid overall. Very simple. Better than being complex, that's for sure. All right, so let's come over here. We'll open link here. I'm looking at comments. All right. Another use of backgrounds here that works well. It's very dark. So, you know, your foreground elements, being that they're pretty much almost white, looks like a little bit like a light gray. Still easy to see. Nice hover effects. This works as well. Good stuff. All right, I like the transition so that we can keep the fixed nav up here. White was a good idea, so it contrasts well with this. This is all solid. I have a problem with that. The type as well. This is good over here. Good stuff over here. It's kind of like the card-based design. Things are spread out enough that you can read them easily. Portfolio, nice, easily. That's nice as well. Yeah, everything's solid here. Assuming that you designed this yourself, very solid. Don't have any issues with this. Good stuff. Everything is solid. I don't have any issues. Great. So PHY. We'll go on to the next one. I am hungry. I'm like starving right now. Let me close these other ones. All right, another background used effectively. We can still see. I would try to put maybe another link, just two, having two up there. I would do some. I would at least have three. I don't know. It just seems a little bit. It looks incomplete, but still effective in terms of aesthetics, though. So that's good. Let's come down here. When I talk about visual hierarchy, this is one area that I think we could improve on by separating these visually with your name. The name's fine, but then we have product designer. It's slightly smaller, and you have changed up the letter spacing, but it's still competing with your name. And also with my tools, with these three things come here. I try to create more separation by focusing on either, well, let me see if I can try to rework it a little bit. So this one, font weight, bold. All right, so that's a little bit better. Well, let's take a look at product designer. All right, so I'm dropping down the opacity about 50%. Where is margin here? oh, margin top. We'll try to make that around 12 pixels instead of 24, so halfway. And then this one, maybe drop it down just a little bit more, at least here on this large viewport. And then that's a little bit better. So we went, so we're taking it from this, and if I refresh, it will show the original. I think this one is definitely better because this, you don't see that difference enough. All right, so let's continue. All right, these work. Again, spread out these sections of content. You know, my skills and everything's kind of running together right here. So definitely push them away, give them more room to breathe. Photo of me on Mount Frost. I mean, if you want to have a label, make it a little bit easier to see. I mean, it doesn't have to be 100% black, but with maximum contrast, but make this stand out a little bit more. And I'd probably structure this a little bit more as well to separate the icons, like push the icons down a lot more, maybe put them closer together. But yeah, that's it. There's a lot solid happening here, and the changes that you need to make aren't big. And they're very quick, and I think it would make a big improvement. All right, let's continue on here. Ooh, sweet. Another super chat. Awesome. All right. I'll answer that question here. Let's see here. What's better for animating SVGs? SVG Gator, Anime.js. Any example of a use case for each one? Is it possible there will be a future Exure tutorial? Exure. I never knew how to really properly pronounce that. All right, so I have to say I don't have enough experience with each one of those to really say if one is better than the other. And with anything, I would assume it really boils down to personal preference and what you're trying to achieve. I do believe Anime.js is probably more robust. And then SV Gator, I believe, if I recall correctly, is kind of just a web-based tool to quickly animate things. So again, I'll have to look at those more specifically to give you a more solid answer, and I'll try to remember to do that. And in terms of a future tutorial on that, I don't have pretty much any experience, so I would really have to learn that. And one of the things I like to do in the Discord server, by the way, is if you join and you go to tutorial ideas, you guys can all put in suggestions for tutorials. And if enough people are requesting something, then I will definitely try to focus on it and do it. All right. Thanks for the super chat. It's always appreciated. Let's go on. And who was the last one that I did here? It was MAUIUX. All right, let's open this. Machine and deep learning. That's another thing I haven't gotten into, but I think I really should. So if you're into that, hit me up and I'll like pay you to teach me quickly. It's better than scouring the internet, and you know, a lot of times the tutorials, especially on something that's relatively new, are lacking. All right, that's pretty cool. Nice. I like that. It's nice and smooth animation here. I like the background here. Again, everybody's so far that I've reviewed has done a pretty good job, a solid job of using photographs as background images for the hero section and still maintaining a lot of contrast with the foreground elements. Very good. Yeah, I would probably push this down a little bit more just because this is much more important than this stuff, but that's a small gripe. I was hoping I could scroll down just to see more stuff, but let's click on About Me. Okay. I would get rid of the Let Me Tell You a Few Things and just stick with the bio part. Because that's kind of throwing off the flow. You have this About Me, and then inset a little bit is this, and then we have center aligned is that. Just kind of throwing things off a little bit right here. Other than, and also this right here, I would rework these. So like this one right here, I would make it bold. What else would I do? There's too much right here. There's too much padding on the top of this element. So if I just go margin top, maybe like 5 pixels, that's better. Probably make these bigger, as just maybe slightly bigger. Like for instance, when it says deep learning intern, well, yeah, it's just I'm trying to figure out why I'm not liking it. Opacity, that's a little bit better. We can create a little bit more separation between these elements, and then also definitely we'll take this, add more padding. So even just adding, you went from 0.5 EM to 2 EM, and that really helps really frame the content much better. So other than that, pretty solid here from what I see. So thanks for submitting. Oh, so apparently I I reviewed a Traverson Media channel design. Which one was it? Oh well. All right, let's continue on. I'm a big fan of Brad's work. That guy pumps out content. He's a machine, that's for sure. Let's see, who did I go last? THAR. Next one is this one. Hello, Alexander. Let's open this link. All right, I like this. All right, so a web developer straight out of Belgrade. I like the background. There's a, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It's very watermarked, icon-based background. I like it. I love the font. What font is that? Montserrat. That's why I love it. That's great. It looks awesome. Yeah. So for the letter mark, I like it. You could probably maybe try to condense them into a more single cohesive element, but I'm not going to get into that. This is very simple, but it works. They're spread out enough. Ooh, nice animations here. I like this. There's nothing that I could really critique that's bad up here. Let's go work out and travel. I would definitely fix the spelling on that. It's just one L, so B-E-L-O-W. All right. This is nice. Very nice. Nothing bad to say here. Nothing bad to say here. Easy to use and easy to see. Great call to action. Yeah, nothing bad to say. So if you design this yourself, good stuff. Good stuff. That's the hope. All right. We're at 44 minutes. Still under construction. Let's check this one out. I knew it. This is great. At least once during all of my live streams so far, I think I've had like 5 of these Friday-based, things like where I'm doing the portfolio reviews. I will definitely get one of these Vertus backgrounds, which are real popular in cryptography. It still looks good, but it's definitely a trend. The way you're using it here works very well. You can still see what's happening here. Here's another instance, though, where you need to have better visual hierarchy as it pertains to your type. So let me just show real quickly what I mean. Because right now things are just kind of they're hard to distinguish between these three different distinct, unique elements that you have. You have your name, you have your title, and then you have a description. We need to separate those more visually. So how will we do that? We take this, font size, screw it. We'll just go like 4 EM. Sweet. All right. Maybe we'll make it even bold. I don't know. Awesome. Now we'll take this paragraph. I'm going to go margin top 40 pixels maybe. We'll take this thing right here. Text transform uppercase maybe. We could do font weight bold here because I did make it not stand out quite as much. We'll get that up closer. Margin top negative 15 pixels. And then this area right here, maybe make a tad bit bigger. I don't know. Let me see. 1.1 EM for font size. And now things are separated a lot better. They're a lot easier to see. So this is what I'm suggesting you change it to. This is what it was originally. See how it just kind of loses structure? So that's one of the things that you could definitely improve. Otherwise, everything else is good so far that I see. All right. All right. 15 years old. Good stuff. I mean, everything that I've seen here so far, with the exception to this, is you're definitely getting more right than you are wrong. This area, I would work on this section a little bit more. You know what? I think this is redundant. You don't even need to include this part. You can just completely get rid of this about me section. Just like, let me see here. Delete it. There you go. That's better. The way you just are cut off here, without there being like a container, like a background right here, it kind of just, it's just cut off too abruptly. You could fix that either by using, a typical spherical, border radius 50% sort of thing. Let me see if I can, I'll do that real quick. We'll put a border radius 50%. Now this would work better if you had a background behind you aside from it being white, or making a background, a subtle background right here, maybe a very light gray. It would also work. Width, we scale it down. You're way too big up there, so we could scale this thing down a bit. Then I would move this over a little bit closer so there's not so much space after scaling it down. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I would put a background here, a background color on this. RGBA 0, wait, no. 00. All right, so not 0.3, maybe 0.1, nope, maybe 0.5, 0.05, something like that. But I wouldn't extend this all the way down. Like this one, I would make this background right here, this section, white. That way it separates the footer from this section. But yeah, good stuff overall. And yeah, you're 15 and you're taking it seriously. That's awesome. All right. Let's continue on. All right, I'm always forgetting which one I did. All right, constant. Open link. All right, by the way, guys, I'm going to be done after 1 or 2 more reviews, but if you still want me to review your portfolio, I will do it if you send a super chat. So you got to pay. I'm one of those evil, greedy capitalist people. All right. Okay, so looking at this, this is one of those examples where there's your horizontal header / navigation, and it really does free up a lot of space for the header, but I would say it's a little bit too small. I would thicken it up just a bit, at least on this larger viewport right here. As for the background, this works well. Another good use of the photograph hero section backgrounds. That's nice, sort of like a parallax effect. I don't know. I kind of want to see more separation between, because there's like a tint that's applied to this that's real similar to this down here. So there's not a lot of difference. I would maybe make this white or something really light, and that way it really sticks out. You could see it more, it will contrast more. And you could either do that or change this up somehow. Maybe make it a little bit darker, just so we could see this element right here a little bit more. Kind of just, there's not enough contrast here, but still, everything's good up here. This is pretty good. I would probably get these up higher. It seems like they're just pushed down way too far. They should more be in line with this stuff right here. So where are we at here? Yeah, we have a big area, margin top. Yeah, I would remove that or make it a little bit less. So instead of 15 VH for viewport height, I would do maybe 7 VH. That's a lot better. 6 VH right there works a lot better in my opinion. Then what else here? It seems like there should be some sort of container right here separating this content from this content up here. Even so, it's still pushed down quite a bit too far in my opinion. We have something occurring here. Padding top 8. Let's try 4. That's better. I'm not a fan of the black titles though. Just make them white. And that's a lot better, it's in my opinion. But I would try to have some type of container right here that maybe just darkens a little bit this lower section right here, and that will create separation. Let me refresh to see back what it was. So just a little bit. Right here, I would definitely scale down the size of each of these cards of sorts. Definitely scale them out. I see there's some padding being applied to these, but 10 pixels isn't enough. It'd be like 40 pixels. That didn't work how I intended, but definitely scale them down, give them more room to breathe. All right, our team. Again, I would probably start using white for this. That's a cool effect. People are moving all over the place. For the labels, push them down away from the icon. Maybe make the icons a little bit smaller. Just separate things out a little bit more. Yeah, and then there's just some certain things when you're using black, but some titles are white, that's inconsistency. So stick with one or the other. I would say white for sure. All right, good stuff. That was TechSoul. We are at 54 minutes. Open link. Again, this is going to be the last one that I do, unless there's a super chat. If you send a super chat for like $2 or $4 or $5 or whatever, I will do a review. But otherwise, we're about to be done. All right, let's see here. What is this? Okay, so the background here, another background that we're using. Just a couple things. First of all, the call to action. The background already has a similar sort of hue to it, so it doesn't stick out enough. So I would definitely increase the contrast of this. You could probably even make the button white and the text purple. And a white button right here would definitely contrast more than what you currently have. It doesn't have to be white, but if you're not going to change the background, then definitely change this somehow to make it contrast more. Something that's definitely lighter. This sub headline, this headline's fine. It sticks out quite well because it's white. This being definitely gray, which is a great way to separate it visually from this type. But if we're talking about the background that it's on, it kind of gets lost slightly. I would also make sure you're spelling successful correctly, and don't worry, I misspell stuff all the time. But I would probably, the best way to go about this, instead of making changes to your button or this, is to darken the background a little bit more, and then you won't have issues. Other than that, I like the navigation. There is no logo. It's probably a work in progress. This is an XD prototype file, so yeah, I would assume that it's a work in progress. I would put a logo over here. Definitely don't leave it without anything. But yeah, solid otherwise. All right, guys. So looks like, let's see here. I'm done for doing the reviews. I'll take a look at the comments here in the chat, and if there's any questions, I'll answer them. Let's see here. Yeah, anybody else who submitted, just try to show up next week, next Friday. I believe I will be doing that. And we'll do another round of reviews. And yeah. So let me get out the YouTube chat area. Pop out. It's judging Jarvis's work. Let's see here. I'm just looking at it to see if there's any direct questions. All right. So again, next, my own personally, sorry, Michael. Oh man, you don't have to wait. Just give me money right now in the form of a super chat, and I'll do it. Gary, what's your own personal front end? Oh, sweet. Thank you, Alfredo. Awesome. That's awesome, man. This is a super chat of $5. I think just saying it is going to pay me. That's funny. My personal front end framework to use, and what do you like most about it? If we're talking about JavaScript front end frameworks, of course I like Angular a lot. I have never got much into React, which it's extremely popular, and I really need to get into it a little bit more. I did a course where I compared the three major players last year, Vue versus React versus Angular. And when I got into the React portion, I hated the templating. I just did not like it, the whole JSX stuff. But I definitely, for a matter of my own personal business, I need to get into React. But I do like Vue, and I do like Angular. In terms of a favorite, I would say Angular only because I have more experience with Angular, although, I don't have anything bad to say about Vue. And then if we're talking about CSS frameworks in terms of styling, I really don't use them anymore on personal projects. I'll just go right from scratch. So there's that. What else is there? Oh, that sucks. Super chat's not available. Then just show up next time. Make sure you put it like a reminder or an alarm on your phone so that you can remember, because YouTube sometimes sucks. They don't always notify people of my videos. I talk about CSS3. Well, I'm doing tutorials lately more frequently about CSS and such, so just keep watching. I'm 15, worked with a few YouTubers. Any tips that you would give me for getting more professional? I'm not sure what that means exactly about getting more professional. If you're that person who had that Constant website, it was pretty solid from what I recall. So just keep trying. Yeah, that's what I did. I was 15. I was developing and stuff. Yeah, just keep at it. What about Vue.js? I like Vue.js. Do I do any back-end stuff in addition to front-end? I'm definitely more of a front-end guy. I started off a long time ago, literally in the late 90s, early 2000s, with a lot of PHP experience and MySQL. I've done some MongoDB stuff in relation to Angular and the mean stack. So I do back-end stuff, but I have to say my strength is front-end. What programming? I love Laravel, which is based on PHP. I made my Courcetera.com 100% from scratch in Laravel. I like that a lot. And I also wanted to, I know Laravel and Vue play well together, but I've never messed with that yet. What software am I using? Wait, can you add a job search group in your Discord? I don't know if the Discord's big enough for that. Sweet. Yeah, Michael W. came through, man. I'm going to answer some questions here real quick. What software are you using? For this screencast, I use something called vMix. vMix is awesome. If you want to do it is a little bit more pricey depending on, they give you different options, but let me show you what vMix interface looks like. This is looking weird because it's showing the screencast, but it allows me to target. Look at this. I green screen out myself over there. Yeah, vMix is very powerful, and it lets me toggle between different things and do overlays and all that stuff. Let's see here. Yep, I have worked with Laravel. Page insights to optimize websites. I actually need to do that on my own website. There are some things on Courcetera.com I definitely need to improve about that. All right, I'm going to do this dribble. I'm going to do this review as I promised. Yes, wireframing is 100% important. Wireframing and/or mockup is 100% important before you start. Before you start doing HTML and CSS, for sure. That's always the first process, when it comes to designing an app or a website. All right, I'm going to do this review real quick. If anybody else wants a review, then you just got to pay me a super chat, and I'll keep going. I will keep going for money. I always will. Swift Designs. 19 years old, self-taught graphic designer from Switzerland. Focused on brands, UI, UX. Okay. Dribbble.com. I have my own Dribbble account. You guys can follow me before, I haven't updated anything in a couple years, I think. This is all my crap. So that's dribbble.com/Courcetera. All right, let's check out a few of these. So this is a redesigned website. Wish I could see it slightly bigger, but I like the overlay and how you're presenting it here in this fashion on Dribbble. Looking at it alone, from what I can see, very solid. Good use of a background image here. Looks like the layout's real solid from what I can see. It's a little bit pixelated, of course, but I don't have really any gripes that I can see from here. I like the Italian colors. That's subtle. That's very subtle right here. Looks like this call to action would be effective. I wish you could see it, full size, but that's okay. This looks solid for sure. We have a logo here. Wait, I saw this before. Birdie Apps. Where did I see this? I don't know. Either way, it's effective. I like it. It's an abstract representation of the of a bird, obviously, and it works well. The colors work well. Yeah, I've seen this before, but maybe it was a different review. This looks solid. You know, a lot of times when people try to create negative space like this, like between lines and stuff, they get too small, and then it will become pixelated when you get at a smaller resolution. But you've separated them out enough. So this is based on what, an A and a G. Yeah. So I did see the A and the G before seeing this. So awesome. Landing page. From what I can see, Swift. We got a hamburger menu. Yeah, I really don't have anything negative to say about what I'm seeing. This works well. Very good stuff. You're definitely on the right track, especially being 19 years old, because you're still young. I'm an old fogey at 35. What the hell is happening to my life? Oh, portrait art. Awesome. What the hell? $200? That's not US dollars. I have no clue here what that is. Depending on the country, it's probably like $2 in US dollars. That's awesome. I'm not going to complain. Very awesome. Let's see. Skip my question. Yeah. This is the best I've done with the super chats. I guess I just have to beg more. Can I review this? Yes, I will do this real quick. I will answer your guys' other questions. We'll get to the portrait art. Another YouTuber who has an even larger channel than myself. That head, that's awesome. All right. So let's see here. I like this background. It's a textured sort of polygonal background that I like. Very cool. Therefore, using maximum contrast on there. I would probably try to separate these elements a little bit more, either through making this bold, you know. Let me see here. Scaling it down just a tad bit, so 15 EMs, you know, maybe 10 EM. And then scaling this down as well, but keeping it, you know, we wouldn't make this one bold. Maybe like 3.5 EM. That way we create an immediate separation between these two elements. And yeah, you could keep that there. That's going to make people laugh. That's not a bad thing. All right. Ooh, that's kind of strange. It's interesting. I was just told that 200 amount was probably about $3 US, but you know what? That's awesome. Thank you very much for that, and I appreciate that. I don't know about this though. Putting the navigation, that's, you know, people are completely used to it, that type of stuff being at the top. I know you're trying to be different, but in terms of usability and patterns and people expecting things a certain way, I would put it up at the top because it just makes more sense that way. So this is a simple fix, of course. Just take the HTML, stick it up there. Let's see here. This is pretty solid. Nothing is standing out. You know, we have a good separation between icon, you know, I would probably make the icons this color by default, not just on hover. That way it will create more of a separation visually between these three elements: the icon, the header here, or not the header, but the headline or the label, and then this. Pretty good. I would probably add a little bit more padding between the elements here and these lines, just a little bit though. And probably scale these down a tad bit, just a tad bit. Otherwise, it's solid. Those are just minor gripes. Good amount of white space between these icon or these thumbnails, which is very good. It helps separate them. A lot of people will stick them right together when it comes to these type of icons. When you stick things together with no space, when it comes to thumbnails and galleries, it can work if they're like based on different types of photographs. But when it comes to thumbnails of like web projects, always separate them out. I would say it's pretty much an objective suggestion. Separate them out with good white space. That's what this individual did. Good stuff. I like the hover. Coming down here. I like this. Good separation between the headlines and this sub-headline area. this is good. Oops, something went wrong. We have some type of issue. I'll just ignore that though with the background. I'm not sure if you intended to have that in there. I don't know. I would get rid of that though if that's an intentional thing. Right here, not bad. Pretty solid. I want to take a look at that real quick. I'm trying to find out where that's coming from. Oh, well, either way. What I've seen here is pretty solid, definitely. You make this this sticky, that's good, but yeah, just put that up at top. Yeah, you're definitely on the right path, for sure. Very good stuff. Thank you for the super chat. All right. I was talking about designing with Adobe XD. I saw some people doing wireframe and paper, and after that started designing in Adobe XD. Is this a good idea? No, doing a wireframe on paper first is fine. Me personally, I don't do that. I just go right into the design app, which I've been using XD lately, and I just start right from there. It's subjective. It's a matter of personal preference when it comes to wireframes. Okay, let's see here. I agree with all the fellow donators. Thank you for the helpful videos that take time, a lot of time that you just put freely out here. All right, no need to shout back. All right, thank you very much, though. This is going to be a good spot to stop, so don't even send another super chat if you want me to do a review. It's getting late here. We're at an hour and 11 minutes. The longer I stream, the more people are watching. I know. It's a paradox. I can't do this all day, though. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and end it. We're about 10 to 15 minutes longer than normal. And again, thanks a lot for the participation with the channel. Not just the people doing the super chats, of course, that's appreciated, but just coming here and watching, of course, in my regular videos. That's why I'm able to do what I do and do this pretty much full time. Yeah. So thanks a lot. So I'll answer the rest of these questions when I get off here. And I'm going to end the stream. So normal videos will resume this Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday. All right, guys. Oh, by the way, I am going to be beginning August 1st. I've struck a deal with Skillshare.com, and they're going to be sponsoring my videos for the month of August. So there'll be a 20-second little ad that I do at the beginning of each videos, but they're paying me handsomely, and it really allows me to focus more on creating content. So I hope it doesn't, piss people off or something. It's just 20 seconds. If you've already seen it during one of the videos, just skip past it, and we'll get to the actual content. All right, guys. See